for a company, say for example like Shire, which acquired a position by sort of acquiring transcarotid therapeutics, was there a sort of a mindset change required at Shire, which was, had been a sort of a traditional sort of specialty pharma company, not necessarily with this history of biologics? And is this going to be a challenge for other people who are moving into the space for the first time?
I think there was a bit of a mindset change, although I have to say, Shire was and still is a relatively small company. And Will's mentioned earlier that, it is a very sort of high touch, or relationships are very important. And I think through this whole cycle that we've seen, long-term collaboration, really trying to better understand the disease itself and better understand how existing and then future therapies interact with the disease, and also with subpopulations of patients. So there's a lot to learn. But I think it does require a bit of a mindset change. And the way Shire dealt with this, of course, is establishing a separate business unit, the Human Genetic Therapies business unit, which is separate from its specialty pharma business. And I think we've seen this similar approach taken by other companies who are acquiring their way into the space.
Jackie, big pharma sort of moving into the space, and clearly sort of having links with sort of patient groups, etc. One can imagine sort of small biotechs or small specialty pharmaceutical companies being agile enough to be able to sort of take on board the stresses and the I guess the drivers associated with orphan diseases. What are big pharma companies going to have to do to actually ensure that they don't lose the opportunity that is already being created?
Well, I think it's severalfold. It's going to Theresa's point, it's changing, knowing how to restructure, sort of setting up specialty areas of expertise in rare diseases is one step, where you're still part of a big organization, but you're very much trying to operate in a sort of entrepreneurial startup biotech kind of structure, which is what you need when you're looking at rare diseases very much. I think another thing is, and we're seeing it at the moment, where companies are really looking at partnerships, and Prosensa and Heggie are a classic example of that, where they are looking to support biotechs have, or small pharma, biopharma and biotechs have the structures, they have this entrepreneurial spirit, but they can learn from each other. It's not just about the funding. Obviously, a big pharma can provide the financial funding that is required, but also to learn from each other. And I think that I know that pharmaceutical companies I've worked with at the moment, they have a lead product going for an indication that's a very prevalent disease with a good unmet need, but not necessarily categorized as an orphan disease. And there's a lot of activity where they've got proof of concept studies going, a lot of activity into, okay, that's not our primary indication, but we really feel that in terms of pathophysiology, we've got some scope here to help some rare diseases with very high unmet need. So I think pharma companies are really, they're trying to